What's up guys, MickeyMoTiOnZ here, and this is an F1 2014 review. This is absolutely 100% honest, and also I'm not being paid to make this review by Codemasters. But anyway, let's get straight into it. Codemasters have been working on the F1 series for almost 6 years. Even though F1 2014 is the latest edition of the F1 series by them, this is probably one of the worst, and I shall explain why. Let's start with the handling. The cars feel different depending on whether you use a controller or wheel. This is due to the new system that's in place in order to allow pad users to have better accessibility and for racing wheel users to have a more realistic experience, according to Codemasters. However, that actually just means that the pad users have assists that are hidden to help them race with the new torque of the new V6 engines and the lower downforce. Although I understand that Codemasters did this to make it easier for beginners, Codemasters should have added extra assists in the menu to help those who can't drive properly instead of hiding it and ruining the V6 experience for the true F1 fanatics and the experienced pad users. What is mind-boggling about this is that the game developers added a steering assist because of the complaints that pad users had an advantage over the racing wheel users, but they decided to give pad users extra traction anyway. It seems to me that they took one step forward and then took one step back. Furthermore, when racing with a wheel, the car handling is more realistic, but they overdid the wheel spin, and this makes it impossible to control the car when exiting out of turns. When accelerating at about 20%, the car still has no traction out of turns, which is frustrating as you get a lot of tyre wear, and most of the times you can't even stay on the track. It's even worse racing in wet conditions in a slower car such as the Caterham or the Marussia. The car constantly wheel spins even in 5th and 6th gear. In simulation racing games like Game Stock Car Extreme and F1 mods for Game Stock Car R-Factor and Assetto Corsa, they don't even have such problems when accelerating. They're of course a hassle to drive due to the torque, but don't have as much wheel spin as F1 2014. The only way to combat this issue is to have traction control on medium. Another issue that the racing wheel users will come across is the default wheel settings on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Finding the right wheel settings can be a pain in the backside and take weeks to figure out. Even though there are posts on forums, the settings may not suit a driver's style. Therefore, even tweaking those settings can be a hassle because the settings aren't very clear. And this is a problem that's been in previous F1 games. All this creates another problem, which is inequality of performance between racing with a pad and a wheel. The pad users will gain a huge advantage and can gain around a second per lap over the racing wheel user. This will impact leagues on PS3 and Xbox 360 negatively, but shouldn't be a problem when racing online as the majority of racers use the pad anyway. On the other hand, it is still unfair that the racing wheel user may have to pay £40 for this game and not be able to race properly. On the PC, most players race with a wheel, so there should be no problems there, but I'm pretty sure most of them will use traction control on medium due to the over-aggressive wheel spin. The core gameplay itself consists of career mode, Grand Prix mode, scenario mode, time attack, time trial, online, and co-op. This is a step back from F1 2013 as there was Classic Edition, so you are paying £40 for a game that is like a DLC for F1 2014 and you get one less game mode. Career mode is quite dull as the layout hasn't been changed, but since the handling has been tweaked a little, cuz is removed, and the F1 rules have been changed, the experience is slightly new. Career mode can be a struggle at the start when using a racing wheel since the car has lower downforce as there is no upgrades yet. In career mode and Grand Prix mode, the AI are still slow on the first lap. The AI aren't capable of overtaking if you defend your position and also don't really defend just like in F1 2013. Even though scenario mode is once again in F1 2014, it was probably one of the only things I enjoyed. The multiplayer is still the same as F1 2013 as there are issues with unbalanced cars when the performance is set to equal, and there still are a few lag bubbles every once in a while. The graphics are the same as last year since the PS3 and Xbox 360 are already maxed out. Overall, F1 2014 is pretty much a copy and paste of F1 2013 with a few tweaks here and there. Although you may not find this game boring and may not have any issues, it is no excuse that this game is priced £40 on the consoles and £30 on the Steam and is a rehash of F1 2013 and still has issues. As Eurogamer mentioned in their review, this is a slight downgrade that would make Bernie proud. 5 out of 10. I hope you guys found that review intriguing, and I hope you guys agree too. If you don't agree, that's cool. Not everyone has to agree, but that's just my opinion, and I thought I'd be 100% honest. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more F1 2014 content. This was MickeyMoTiOnZ. I'm out. Peace.